Hello, good morning, afternoon, and evening. Happy World Mental Health Day, ladies and gentlemen, all participants across the globe. My name is Herdiana from Indonesia. First of all, I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude to the organizer, Stop Mental Illness Foundation Nigeria, for inviting me in the special occasion on World Mental Health Day. Well, today is the day 3, and I'm sure our audience have learned so much lesson from day 1 and also day 2. And today I will present about coping strategies and self-care for mental well-being because we know that what we feel needs to get a really actionable that can help us ease all the worries, all the pains that we have related our mental health. That's why I'm here to talk about the coping strategies for mental health illness. So without any further ado, let's get started, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so like I have said, our topic for today is coping strategies and self-care for mental well-being. And let me introduce more a little bit about myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm CEO and founder of Bliss Education Center, brand Foreign and HDN staff. Besides that, I'm also certified NLP master practitioner, ACD and REBT therapist, certified entrepreneurship and business coach. That's why in my presentation today, I will talk a little bit about ACD and REBT therapists to cope with some kind of mental health issue. And in today's session, we're going to learn about coping mechanisms for managing stress, anxiety, depression, self-care practice, and their significance, and of course, the case study, because I want our audience or all participants know how this theory, this kind of words can implement in our lives. Well, mental well-being is really crucial. It's very important as our physical, and it underpins our health, happiness, and success. So mental health can really affect our physical health too, relationship and resilience. Because imagine when your mind is not in a healthy position or condition, it might affect your relationship with your family, with your friends, with your college, with many people. And when you don't have a good mental health condition, and then you face challenges, you face any kind of difficulty, then you will be more difficult to be a person who really implement the resilience. That's why we need to prioritize mental health, not only benefits for us, but also strengthen communities and society, fostering a positive change. Why like this? Because when you are becoming a conscious people, or maybe when you become a person with a good mental health well-being, then you can empower, you can educate, you can inspire those people around you. When you work in a bigger scale, like in a community, you can influence more people to do better, to be a good role model for them. So it's going to foster a positive change, not only for yourself, but in a bigger scale for your community, which is really can get strengthen the relationship connection, the communication, and also overall beneficial things. So learning coping mechanisms or practicing self-care is very important to manage life challenges, reducing stress and maintaining mental well-being. Like I have said, when you feel anxious, when you feel depressed, and you don't know how to do the things to calm yourself, then it's going to make a more chaotic situation. Okay, when you practice the self-care, you can nurture your physical and emotional health, preventing burnout and promoting resilience. And this tool empower us to lead healthier and more balanced life. So I'd like to know to all participants or the viewers, when was the last time you feel stress, anxiety, or even depressed? If you're watching this on YouTube, please kindly write your answer in the comment section. Please let me know when was last time, because I'd love to know when actually our audience felt not good. Okay. So before we go further about the coping strategies, we need to understand first what is stress, what is anxiety, what is depression, and why am I talking like this? Because the truth is, some people might mess up the term between stress and anxiety, and they put all the term become depression. But it's actually a different thing, because stress is the body natural response to a perceived threat, challenge, or demand. So it can be a physical, emotional, or psychological reaction to situations that require adjustment or adaptation. So pretty much, I can say, like, I'm going to present in the next slide to, like, all of us in this world, whether you are young, whether you are an adult, whether you are a teen, you might have ever felt stress at least once in life, because that's the natural response. Maybe you are not feeling scared about the threat, but maybe when there is so much demand that you face, then you feel stressed, you feel under pressure. Okay, so stress is a normal part of life, but chronic or excessive stress can lead to negative health effects and impact mental well-being. For example, me, even though I'm an NLP master practitioner or I'm an LCD and REBT therapist, it doesn't mean that I've never felt stress. There was a moment in my life where I feel like I get so much pressure when there's so much demand that comes to my life. And I have tried my best to really set back, realize, try to do self-reflection to see what's going on actually in my life. But if I let those kind of negative thinking and also excessive worry comes to on my mind, I can notice that it's going to damage my overall well-being. Why? Because when I felt stressed, I realized that I become more sensitive. I might get angry easily. And then when it comes to a pressure or pressure related to a demands, then when someone asks it to you, then you become such a defensive. For example, such China, when we're going to organize blah blah blah, and because I have so much full schedule, and then I might feel like I might not be able to attend this or that, and but the other people are keep asking me when, and I feel like so much in the pressure. Then at the time, I would feel like I'm in stress. So I have tried to calm down myself, to relax myself, to overcome this kind of things. Because if it's not, if I'm not going to resolve it, then I might tend to have a relationship problem with other good people, for example. Next is anxiety. So if the stress is natural response, anxiety is a common mental health condition characterized by excessive worry, fear, or apprehension about future event or situation. Let's say stress in this level and anxiety is in this level or above the stress, the level of the issues or the problem that we are having, it's upper than the stress. So when it comes to anxiety, it can manifest as physical symptoms like restlessness, racing heart, and muscle tension. And anxiety disorders can interfere with daily life and functioning, but they are treatable with therapy and sometimes medication if it's needed. But as a therapist, I don't really recommend for all the kind of mental health issue needs to be treated with the medication. If it's necessary, then we might need, but our suggestion or my suggestion is always goes to the other self-care tips and also the other coping strategies rather than go to the medication first. And we will talk about it later. Next is depression. So depression is a mental health condition characterized by persistent feeling of sadness, helplessness, and lack of interest or pleasure in most activities. So when you heard about someone who is who's want to take their own lives or suicide, you might see the self like they are hopeless about something. They are hopeless about their future. They're hopeless that they might not get a place in the society. So the sadness that they are having is so much deeper than when they are having anxiety and stress. And this kind of things can lead to physical symptoms such as change in appetite and sleep patterns, fatigue, difficulty, concentration. Yeah, when someone is in depressed, they barely have a good sleep. Okay, and they also have a change in appetite, whether they eat more or they don't want to eat anything. And depression is a really serious condition that can have a profound impact on a person's life, but same like anxiety, it's also treatable with therapy, medication, or combination of both. Okay, so same like the other physical issues. Maybe you got cough, maybe you got headache, maybe you got stomach. There is something that you can take to heal it. Even untreatable diseases, they can also get a traditional treatment. And that's also goes same with the mental health. We always have options, and all we need to do is believe that we will overcome all of this. So to all my amazing participants, I'd like to know which one that you recently felt. Did you just get stressed? Did you just get anxiety? Did you just get or recover from depression? Please kindly write in the chat, comment what actually the current mental health problem that you are having. Okay. So with this mental health issues, actually there is a prevalence of these conditions, which is stress is, like I have said, nearly everyone experiences stress at some point in their lives because it's it's a natural response in our lives. So it's such a everyday occurrence, but excessive or much worry, then it's not going to be healthy. And anxiety disorders are among the most prevalent mental health conditions worldwide, affecting millions of people. Like I have said, it doesn't matter how old you are, what kind of the background you are having right now. You might get anxiety in any kind of the situation, probably. And depression is a leading cause of disability globally, affecting millions, with its prevalence steadily increasing. So it's significant a public health concern. Why? It becomes a public health concern is not only about the high number that the victim shows up every single year, but it's also, we know that so many suicide cases comes from depression. So this is our public concern because we want to save people's life. We want to save our lives. We want to save people's lives too, and we want to make a better place, a peace world where our society is full with healthy people, not only physically but also mentally. So like I have said, actually it's not only stress, but stress, anxiety, and depression are indeed normal human experience. But one thing for sure is that you need to understand there is a slightly different with certain condition. Okay, maybe there is occasional stress, anxiety, and sadness that are really typical, but when this kind of emotions become overwhelming, persistent, or interfere with your daily life, then you do really need to take importantly, maybe because you are having excessive worry. You don't even want to go outside. You don't want into work in the same project with other people, which might affect your college or your friends if you are a student. So this kind of things is not only going to affect yourself, but other people too around you, which is not really beneficial for yourself. Next is coping mechanism for managing stress. So the first thing you need to do before you want to learn the coping mechanism is identifying the common stressor, because it's really important. And When we understand the root of problem, even in our life's problem, then it's going to make our life easier. But when you want to get healed, when you want to solve something, but you don't understand what is the root problem, then it's become more difficult for you to fix that. So when you can understand or identify the stressor, then it will be easy for you to put the treatment it needs. Okay. And the common stressor are situation, even circumstances, which is we know in our daily life, it can really trigger stress reaction. Okay. So here are some example of the common stress. First, we got work-related stress, like I have said. Pressure at work, tight deadlines, job insecurity, conflict with colleagues, and heavy workloads can all contribute to work-related stress if you already work. Or financial stress. This comes mostly for adults, but nowadays students also sometimes get financial stress because maybe they don't have got enough funds for their education. So any kind of things related to the money concerns such as debt, financial instability, or unexpected expenses can be significant stressors. Okay, for example, when the gasoline price increase, people tend to become in more stress level. Yes, because those kind of unexpected expenses might seems like threaten their financial security. Okay. Next is relationship issues. So conflicts, misunderstanding, or strained relationship with family members, friends, or romantic partners can lead to stress. Okay. Next is academic stress. If you're a student, we know that exactly. Even if we try to go back to the school time, we feel like sometimes we got stress related to the exam, coursework, academic expectation, and we feel that the pressure to excel academically really push put us in a stress situation. Okay. Next is health concern. But personal health issues and worries about the health of loved ones can be significant stressor. We know that. Maybe there was a couple or a marriage couple. A husband has been sick for 2 weeks, for example, and the wife has to wait in the hospital, but also needs to take care of the children. So when there is kind of the things happen like this, then we got more heavier thing in our shoulder. And when we get heavier thing in our shoulder, we are not relaxed, and it becomes one of the stress in our life too. Next is life transition. So we live in a past world. We live in the past world change nowadays, and I think some people notice that they got life transition from doing A job to the B job, from the C job to the D job, or maybe from the G job to the Z job. So it's actually so much changing nowadays in the 21st century. So major life change like moving, starting a new job, getting married, or becoming a parent can be stressful due to the adjustment and uncertainties they entail, because they are not simply get used to it. It's just such a surprise moment for them. Next is daily hassles. So everyday irritations that you might feel in your day, like a traffic jams, long lines, or technology glitches, can really accumulate and contribute to stress. For example, as a coach and trainer, I often have an online meeting. Like every day, I have an online meeting, and when there's a technology glitches, internet connection problem, then it's actually bring worry in myself. But I need to overcome it so I can be work professionally again after it's already get done or already get back to the normal. So with all of the stressor that we just know from the stress, now let me explain about the coping mechanism for managing stress. First is exercise. Okay, so you need to do regular physical activity, which is can release your endorphins and the body natural mood lifters, and it helps naturally reduce your stress hormones. when we do exercise regularly, your mind becomes so fresh. That's why it can really be good for the managing stress, because you're not going to have time to worry much. But when you just okay, you playing video games or scrolling on the social media, and you already got in a stress 3 level, for example, then it's just going to make your situation worse and worse. Next, coping strategies is mindfulness and meditation. So mindfulness involves being fully in the present moment without judgment. Okay, and meditation practice, including mindfulness meditation, can help the calm mind, reduce the stress, and enhance emotional resilience. Why? Because the thing is, our stress comes from our worriness in the past and in the future. When we predict too much things, what's going on? What will happen next? Am I going to get this project? Oh, last week I didn't pass this project. Last week I didn't get this kind of things. Then you just get additional stress in your life because you are simply busy to think or to worry about the past and in the future. That's why it's very important to be right now, right here in the present moment. And you can get this kind of thing with the meditation. At the end of the session, we are going to have a very quick meditation or relaxation strategy for our mental well-being. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me in this live session. Okay, next is healthy eating. So we need a balanced diet, which can impact on mental well-being. We need to eat nutrient-rich food, provide the body with essential vitamins and minerals that support brain function, and reduce the risk of mood disorder. When we consume a good nutrition-rich foods, it can really help our brain to function in a better way. And we need to avoid excessive caffeine and sugar, which can help us stabilize energy levels and mood. Because when we consume so much caffeine, so much sugar, we tend to become like a tantrum kids, like a kid who doesn't get the ice cream. They're going to keep screaming. They are going to keep crying just to get the sweet thing that they want. That's why you don't always have to feed your desire to eat sweet, to drink caffeine. Next is time management. For example, if you got a stress related to work, I think it's really important for you to learn about the time management, because effective management can reduce stress by allowing individuals to prioritize tasks and set realistic goals, which is going to avoid you for getting overwhelmed. So the techniques that you can do is like creating a to-do list, maybe a night before your day. Try to make it more specific. But okay, tomorrow I'm going to go grocery, tomorrow I'm going to finish this project, tomorrow I'm going to make this presentation, blah blah blah. You need to make to-do list, so you're not going to surprise yourself. Oh my god, I don't know that I have to do this, or oh my god, I missed this thing because I didn't write it down, and then someone just quickly remind you and you need to do it instantly, which just brings trust to you. But if you are trying to make a to-do list, then voila, you can follow this kind of step-by-step list that you want to do during a day. Next is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is really important for all of us, regardless your gender, your age, your background, because we have to learn to say no, because we are not a robot. We are human. We need to be adaptive. We need to be flexible, but we also need to self-love. We have to love ourselves more. Okay. And then if you think that you are having super big tasks, don't forget to chunk it down, make it into smaller and manageable steps, so you are not going to get additional stress. Next is seeking social support. It's not only about the therapist, the counselor, but it can be your friends, family, or support network in your community. Simple like sharing your feelings and experience with trusted individuals, because when we share our story, either it's bad or good, it can provide comfort and perspective, which is will be helpful for us to reduce feeling of isolation and stress. Okay, now I'm going to show you about how actually our brain works. So you will know what actually usually bring the stress on your mind. Sometimes it's your negative thought. Okay, let me play this. Oh, not. Failure, because we but as the connection install the new happiness, the new happy memories, the new positive self-affirmation to our brain. And we can doing it by saying a positive self-affirmation, for example. That's why many people sometimes say fake it until you make it. Okay, it has a meaning actually. If you are not happy, don't keep telling yourself, I'm not happy, I'm just helpless, I'm just, yeah, I'm lost, I'm empty, blah blah blah. Because when you already have that situation in your life and you keep saying bad thoughts in your mind, then it's going to make the neuron connection stronger and stronger and stronger, which is will lead your brain send the signals to your body that like, okay, you are not capable, you are not worthy or something. But when you are trying to install a positive affirmation, a good attitude, to be kind to your mind, and it's going to connect new neurons in your brain for a better connection. So when the neurons keep straightening its strength, then it's going to make you have a healthier life, healthier mind, because your body is going to send a signal, your mind, your brain is going to send a signal to your body that you're feeling good, you are feel comfortable, you are happy. Okay, that's why it's really important to pay attention what you are telling to yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's always matter. Okay, so next is anxiety. So anxiety, if you can see in the screen in here, we got symptoms of anxiety. The first thing is excessive worry and overthinking. Next is restlessness and feeling on edge. Sometimes we feel it when we are got a hectic day. Next is irritability and easily become agitated. Like maybe your friend just like, what's up, bro? They just, yeah, simple touch your shoulder and then you become so defensive. If you catch yourself suddenly feel that kind of response, then you might have to check yourself more, because that's a part of anxiety symptoms. But if your friends, yeah, consciously hit your shoulder or your body parts, then it's not good. But if they're actually not doing something wrong, just want to grate you or something, but you become so defensive, then you might have to check more about yourself. And there is also physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, muscle tension, and also you might get sleep disturbances, okay, if you have anxiety. And it can be including difficulty for falling asleep or staying asleep. So when we talk about anxiety, it's not always about, okay, I got insomnia, I really had difficulty to sleep. No, it's not only like that, because those people who sleep so much time or staying asleep all also might get a symptoms of anxiety. Next is difficulty concentrating due to racing thoughts and worry. Like I have said, if you're not kind to your mind, you might got so much racing thoughts on your brain, which is not going to be a productive or putting you in a good concentration level. Next is avoidance behavior, such as avoiding triggering situation or places. There are many people who got social anxiety. They simply avoid people. They think like, I am introvert. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be around this party or this community. And you end up with isolating yourself because you got triggered. Last time I joined the party, some people make fun of me. Last time I hang out with my friends, they just talk bad about me. So you got those bad memories, and you are trying to avoid this stress or these triggers. So it's not really good actually, because we need to work on it. If you got a challenges, you have to face it, even before you got failure or even before after the failure. Okay, next is gastrointestinal issues like stomach ache or nausea. This is the one of the most common symptoms and anxiety, because some people got really stomach ache problems so much during their anxiety moment. So next, okay, next is coping mechanism for managing anxiety. Okay, so when we want to manage our anxiety, we can do deep breathing techniques. Okay, because this breathing technique can really help the body stress response and reduce anxiety. And you can do deep pragmatic breathing for 4, 7, and 8 technique involve slow and deep breaths can really promote relaxation and reduce the sensational of physical tension. That's why sometimes we need to take a pause, stop, and then just release. Okay, because we are not a robot, we are a human being. Next is lifestyle modification. So if you notice, actually, there is a significant impact in anxiety when we are trying to change our lifestyle mode. When you practice exercise regularly, maintaining a balanced diet, reducing the caffeine and alcohol intake, then you can really make your anxiety slowly fade away. Okay, next is social support. Like I have mentioned in the coping strategies for stress, social support is always important. And when you have friends or family that can provide emotional support and reduce feelings of isolation, you can feel much more calm. Okay, next is mindfulness and relaxation. So mindfulness techniques such as meditation and yoga can promote awareness of the present moment and help individuals manage anxious thoughts and sensation, because this technique can really progressive muscle relaxation and can reduce the physical tension and anxiety. Because when we do meditation and relaxation, you might feel like, oh my god, there's so much things that I carry on my shoulder. And when you're trying to do yoga, you move the body, you try to be flexible and adaptive to the sound, to the instruction, then you can relax your physical tension. Next is self-care. So we need to make time for activities that bring joy and relaxation. And every person is unique. Okay, maybe your favorite hobbies or your favorite joy activities are not on the list, as you can see on the screen, and that's okay. Find what makes you comfortable. It can be spend time in the nature, it can be reading, it can be maybe self-care routine. You go to the salon, manicure, pedicure, use a face mask or a kind of treatment for women. Then it's up to you, because self-care is unique. So do what you love to appreciate yourself. Next is signs of depression. So it's different with the anxiety, because when we talk about depression, it prolonged feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and emptiness. That's why when people commit to suicide, they feel actually nothing left for them to keep fighting in this world. They just feel empty. They feel hopeless that they might get a better solution, they might get a better life, or they might get better condition. And when they feel emptiness and hopelessness about something, they tend to lack of interest or pleasure in one's enjoyable activities. Maybe someone used to enjoy listen to the music, dancing, or playing basketball. Then suddenly, because they got a depression, then they simply don't want to play basket anymore. They simply don't want to listen their favorite songs anymore. And you have to be mindful and careful to see if those people around you showing suddenly quick change in this interesting, because this is a major point that we can notice as the signs of depression. Next is significant change in appetite and weight. Maybe they ate too much, or maybe they just simply don't eat anything. So it's going to either increase or decrease their weight. Next is difficulty falling asleep, same like in anxiety. And also persistent feelings of exhaustion and low energy levels. Maybe they already slept for 8 or 7 hours, but they still feel like, oh my God, in the morning, oh, my body feels so hard, or I'm just so tired until the midday. Then you might to be careful if you have this kind of symptoms. Next is frequent feeling of guilt, self-blame, and worthlessness. This is very crucial for us, especially we live in a digital age. Okay, maybe some people are becoming so narcissistic, and you might have kind of those narcissistic people in your life, and you tend to get blamed and you feel so much guilt just because of one mistake, for example, and then you end up with keep blaming yourself constantly every single day. And because you you keep blaming yourself, then you feel worthlessness, which is really not good, because when you feel worthlessness, you are going to isolate yourself from social interaction for friends, family, and simple avoiding activities. Okay. And when someone is having depression, they also have a trouble with decision making, because everything is racing on their mind and they got no concentration in this point. Okay, next is coping strategies for managing depression. First is self-compassion. Okay, so we need to practice self-compassion that involves treating oneself with same kindness and understanding as one would over to friend. Okay, if you are scared, if you are afraid to tell bad things about your friends, maybe they simply have a bad attitude or bad behavior, but you don't want to tell them what they are doing actually, then you also need to consider yourself before you blame yourself, before you criticize too much yourself. Treat yourself as good as the way you treat other people. And then it means that we also need to recognize that depression is an illness, not a personal failure. Okay, and being a patient and gentle with oneself during the recovery process is actually not a sign of weakness. Okay, so self-compassion can help counter negative self-talk and foster a more positive self-image. So we learn not to blame ourselves. We learn not to feel guilty for every single things that happen. Okay, because again, depression is an illness, not a personal failure. Just because you have some kind of depression, it doesn't mean that you are a failure in your career. Okay, next is setting achievable goals, because we notice that depression can make even small tasks seems overwhelming, which is might delay you for some work, some task, some assignment if you are a student. So setting achievable, realistic goals, no matter how small it is, can provide a sense of accomplishment and motivation, which is going to break down larger goals into manageable steps that can make them more attainable and reduce feelings of helplessness. Okay, when you have a big dream and you simply write down like, okay, I want this, I want to finish this, but you don't write the action steps that can hold yourself accountable. You don't know when is actually you're going to assess or attain this as a successful goal, then it's going to get nowhere. Next is therapy and counseling. So there might be there are many type of psychotherapies that we can do actually as a coping strategist in depression. But because I'm an ICD and also REBT therapist or ACT therapist, which stands for acceptance and commitment therapy, and REBT is rational emotive behavior therapy. So in this presentation, I want to highlight this point. Okay, so we need this therapy for managing depression. If you feel like it's already suffer, if you feel like you already got so much difficulty to concentration or to have a good relationship with other people, because ACT or ACD focus on acceptance of difficult emotion and values-driven behavior, while REBT helps people to challenge their irrational belief and thought patterns that contribute to depression. Okay, the thing is, sometimes it's not the thing that we expect that become bad, but our interpretation, our irrational thing that make a prediction about certain things that can lead to the worst situation. Okay, so we need to do self-care practice to maintain our overall well-being. And when we talk about self-care, it's not only about a pedicure, manicure, it's not only about, okay, put on a face mask to chill in the Saturday or in the Friday night or something like, no, but there is physical self-care, emotional self-care, social self-care, and also spiritual self-care. And we're going to talk more about it. So physical self-care includes exercise regularly, which means that any kind of activities that can contribute directly to your physical being, or eat a balanced diet. Okay, when you have a balanced diet, then you maybe maintain your weight. You're not going to gain much weight, which can lead to some kind of anxiety or depression problem. Next is get enough quality sleep. So if you want to take care of your physical, you need to get enough sleep, because let's say I'm not going to be a person who get older faster than my age. So in order to achieve that goals, it's not only about putting skincare on my face, but it's also a reminder for me to get enough sleep time. Next is schedule routine checkups. Okay, maybe in some countries it can be done for monthly schedule, 3-month schedule, 6-month schedule, or a year schedule. To just simple check what's going on in your body, so you can make sure that you are healthy physically. Next is stay hydrated. When we want to take care about ourselves, especially in the physical well-being, we need to stay hydrated. That's why I'm going to drink water. Simple. Because I have been sitting on my chair more than 30 minutes and I've been talking. So it also goes to the same with you. If you are working in office that needs you to sit more than 5 hours in a day, and then you need to stay in front of the computer or laptop more than an hour, then please drink more water. Stay hydrated. Next is emotional self-care. So when we talk about emotional, it means that we need to calm ourselves that related to our mind. That's why we need to practice mindfulness or being right now, right here in the present moment. And then we also need to practice to journal our thoughts and feelings. Maybe yesterday I was feeling sad. Maybe today I'm feeling better. Or maybe 2 days ago I'm feel so worthlessness, and we need to journal this thoughts. So why we have to journal our thoughts and feelings? So one day when we see there is a certain similar activities or certain stressors that you notice got triggered yourself, then you know exactly how to handle it because you keep on track. Okay, next is set healthy boundaries. Like I have said, physically or emotionally, it's always important to setting healthy boundaries, because when people really come across our boundaries, sometimes we get angry so fast. That's not really good. Next is be self-compassionate. And the last one is seek professional help when needed. Okay, when you have certain emotional problem that got into higher levels or severe level, then you need to seek professional help to help yourself. Next is social self-care. So if you want to build a good social relationship with other people, you need to maintain positive relationship. Don't be a toxic person. You need to avoid toxic relationship. And when I talk about the toxic relationship, it's not only about the boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse, or any kind of the loved one. No, sometimes friends and colleagues also can be a toxic. Okay, maybe they are not simple type of person who wants to clap to your success. Maybe they just want to criticize you a lot by giving you so much destructive feedback, which is obviously not really good. Then why do you need to stay with those people? Okay, next is connect with loved ones. So you are going to increase your happy brain chemical booster. Next is express gratitude. It's always important for us to keep remaining gratitude even for the small things. Next is join supportive communities. So when we want to do a social self-care, we might want to involve other people. We might want to join in a community that have a shared same vision and mission with us. Okay. Next is spiritual self-care. Spiritual self-care means is making ourselves closer to the God. Okay, so you can achieve this by meditate or pray. Okay, next is reflect on your purpose or being grateful for your life, for having a time in this world and still breathing. Okay, and you need to reflect on your purpose. What's your calling in this world? Maybe you are at 50 years old, maybe you are at 40 years old, and you feel like my passion is different with the job that I'm working now, and this is not my purpose, this is not my life calling, and you want to rewrote yourself, or you want to change it, and that's okay. So simply reflect on your life purpose. Next is engage in creative expression. So it's going to boost our mood. Next is spend time in nature. It's really important because when we spend time in nature, realize it or not, sometimes we simply say some grateful comment about how amazing our nature, how blessed actually we are having opportunity to witness this all of the amazing things around us. So now let's talk about the case study. Okay, the first case study is we got Marias. So you got a path to the acceptance. Okay, so in this example, I'm giving the example of one of my clients that use ARC or ICD therapy. So Maria struggled with severe anxiety, okay, particularly social anxiety, which limited her interaction and opportunities. So after engaging in acceptance and commitment therapy, Maria learned to accept her anxious thoughts and feeling without judgment, okay. So many problems related to the social anxiety is that we are avoiding our thoughts, our negative thinking. We don't want to accept it. We just so fear, we just so scared, we just so doubt about what we are feeling and what we are thinking. So we come to the judgment, to self-judgment, okay? So she practiced mindfulness and found ways to stay present in social situations despite her anxiety. Okay, so in this case, acceptance commitment therapy empower her to commit to her values, which include building meaningful relationship and pursuing fulfilling career. So Maria's story exemplifies how the acceptance of difficulty emotion combined with commitment to one's values can lead to transformative journey towards mental well-being. Because so many anxiety or depression problem comes from we are not able to accept what happened around us, to accept the reality that we are having right now with us. So we tend to, got so much anxious thoughts and also keep judging ourselves in the bad situation. And that's why it's really important to practice mindfulness. So we are being fully in the present moment right now, right here. Okay, the second study we got here, Daniel's trying through REBT. Okay, now we got a depression case. Okay, so Daniel found himself due such as self-criticism and irrational beliefs. So he sought help and began REBT to challenge his negative thought patterns. With the guidance of me as REBT therapist, Daniel learned to identify and dispute irrational beliefs, replacing them with more rational and constructive thinking. Okay, if you remember the video that I have shown you about your positive self-talk and also negative self-talk or any kind of irrational beliefs, is actually going to wire and rewire neurons in your brain. That's why it's really important to replace the irrational belief with the rational belief, so you can feel more passionate about yourself and also about the situation in your life. So in this case, Daniel practiced self-compassion and recognized that he didn't have to be perfect. Okay, because what I found during my journey as a coach and therapist is so many people want to be a perfect, either in their career or in a relationship or in any organization. But it's actually not good because it's just so overwhelming and draining our energy so much by the time. Okay, so in this case, over the time, Daniel's depression gradually lifted and he regained of a sense of self-worth and purpose because he understands his irrational belief that it's not necessary to be perfect. Even if you make a mistake, that's okay. You can try again. You can practice resilience and don't give up. You just need to try again and again and try to analyze and identify from the last fail. Okay? So Daniel's story illustrates the power of rational thinking and self-compassion in managing depression and recalming oneself. Okay, so when you got rational thinking, it's going to be more beneficial for you because that's the fact that sometimes our worry, our excessive worry, our depression comes from our irrational beliefs. For example, you expected that, oh my God, it seems like they are talking about me because they are staring at me while we were walking to the room. Or maybe you talk to your friends about the black and white level. Those people might don't like you. They simply hate you, but you actually don't get enough proof to say those kind of things. And those are only your irrational belief, which is going to reflect or affect your personal lives and professional lives, which is not really good. Okay. Irrational beliefs is already bad, but the worst thing is accepting that those irrational beliefs are valid when actually is not valid at all. Okay. To conclude my presentation, I'd like to remind all of you that coping strategies and self-care practice are indispensable tools for safeguarding and enhancing mental well-being. And by learning this effective coping mechanism, we can navigate life challenges, reduce stress, and bolster resilience. And concurrently, self-care ritual nurture physical, emotional, social, and spiritual aspect of one's life, can also foster a balance and a more profound sense of fulfillment. Okay, so by prioritizing these strategies, we empower ourselves to lead healthier and more resilient lives, fortified against the demands of a complex world, because we live in a so fast changing world with chaotic situation in this world. That's why we need to find our healthier life so we can make a better equipped to embrace the joy that this world offers rather than focus on the chaotic moments that happen around the world. And ultimately, those kind of coping strategies serve as essential pillars in the foundation of a thriving and sustainable mental health landscape. So thank you so much for your attention. I truly appreciate all of the viewers or participants who are watching and staying with me until the end of the session. Thank you so much once again. Happy World Mental Health Day. Embrace the joy in your life so you can get more fulfillment and become the best version of your life. Bye bye, and thank you so much.